right, guys, welcome back to the World Championship Series, European Premier League season number 3. We now have our second series of the night on the way. It's going to be between Mr. Rock's TitaN and Nerchio from Acer.
That's right. This should be a good series because I'm a big fan of TitaN. I always have been since his performances in 2011 when they were really strong. He was representing Russia in WCG. He was starting to pick up a lot of consistent results. But then in 2012, he had a bit of a slower year, I'd say. But he's really starting to pack it in again, quite strong. He's working very hard. He's mentioned to me he's going to the gym. He's, works in and practicing like 12 hours a day. He really wants it in the WCS. But another player that's kind of had a slower start to this year was Nerchio, who didn't really do too well at the start of the year. He's played a lot of League of Legends, and he's back into StarCraft 2 now, Claris, and he's doing well again. He's picking up some good results. Yeah,
really working very, very hard as of late, and that's good. That's good for him because being a professional StarCraft player, you kind of want to be at the top of your game. And Nerchio, he's getting back to the top of his game. This could be a season where Nerchio advances on very strongly.
I think he can. I mean, I'll actually ask you this question once we get into the game because I know we were about to jump in. First map is Frost between these two guys. Nerchio has been playing some very aggressive styles recently in Zerg versus Protoss. Lots of Ling heavy styles, lots of denies on that fast third base, which Protoss players like to take. But TitaN's a player that's been playing a bit online and stuff, but his style isn't as well known out there. He's a barcode on the European ladder. We don't really see him too much publicly, so I'm interested to see what he can bring today.
He's a weird one, is TitaN. He can play some really sporadic styles. But now let's jump into game 1, guys, as we have spawning up to the top left-hand corner as our red Zerg, representing Acer as well as Poland. He is Nerchio. And up to the top right as our blue Protoss, representing Rocks as well as Russia, we have TitaN.
All right, so what I was going to ask you is, do you ever binge away on something when you shouldn't? Like a game, films, something like this?
I go through phases of anime.
Okay.
Some phases of anime, and then I would say I was guilty to playing some games more than I should have done. For a long time, I played World of Warcraft. That was really bad, as I played a lot of it and neglected some things. But then, just other games here and there. So, yeah, sometimes.
Okay, because I do.
Yeah?
There's different stages of, over the 3 or whatever years I've been doing StarCraft 2. I've had Dota binges. I've had TV binges where I've just watched back to back of episodes and seasons.
Like whole seasons.
Seasons back to back.
That can be fun sometimes, though.
What was it that I watched back to back? Breaking Bad. I watched like a couple of seasons back to back because I was kind of late into it. And there's been a couple of others too. And I'm actually a big fan of when I watch TV. I don't like to wait the week. I like not to read the internet and when it's all finished, I just go BAM and finish it really, really fast. So I have a lot of binges that come in through these different parts. And Dota 2, I had a really big one a couple of years back because I played a game the other day, and that's about it for like 2 years. But 2 years ago, I played Dota 2 all the time. Like I played hundreds of games.
Oh, nice.
And I was playing over. I went to a peak, I reckon, of about 80% of my day was Dota 2 over StarCraft. And for me, that's great. That's absolutely insane. It started with one game here and then another one here. And, then it was 50-50. And then the next thing I knew, it was 80%. And I was like, oh my, what the hell is happening? And you do go through them stages, and maybe some other people do. But Nerchio, I feel, would relate to that a little bit when it comes to playing League of Legends a bit. Because that's what it was, I feel. It was a binge. He played a lot of it. And then he got bored of it because he had the urge from it. He got everything he wanted from it and then was like, well, and I spoke to him. He says, I play maybe one game a week, but it's really boring for me now. I played it a lot. I played it a ton. And of course, he's back in StarCraft and looking good.
That's certainly true. Dude, I haven't done the Breaking Bad thing yet. Everyone keeps telling me, watch Breaking Bad, watch Breaking Bad. I'm probably going to get a lot of tweets now saying, watch Breaking Bad, #behave, watch Breaking Bad. But I haven't done it yet. Is it worth it, you think?
Yes.
Yeah? Worth it?
Yeah. All right. I don't know why admin's not speaking to these players. They're just making their own decisions up. So we're going to rehost. That's fine. We can talk a little bit more.
We can.
Well, there was lag going on in the game, so we just
a lot of lag. We could feel it. They could feel it. So just getting this remade here, guys. So yeah, not done Breaking Bad. What are the other series? I remember watching Prison Break I didn't do Prison Break for a long time, and someone was like, watch Prison Break, like Season 1, and then the other. And Season 1 was really awesome. Season 1 was really cool. But that was a long time ago. That was a long time ago. So I don't watch too much TV, to be honest with you. I just watch anime series, and that's about it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Just talking to these players. They don't know. The admin's actually not here, so I told them to make the games themselves.
Oh, really? Okay.
I guess. I don't know.
All right. But aside from that, guys, we'll get into this first game very soon. But whilst we're doing that, this is a perfect opportunity for people to go over to Twitter and hashtag Rocket and hashtag WCS. Predict the second place finisher in the group. And if you do, you win yourselves a Kiln Pure Optical, as seen here, exhibited by the lovely Apollo. So you can win a mouse. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, all right, so we will be getting this game underway. So, of course, yeah, that's competition's always a good one. We've played it for every day now for the last few days in a row. If you've been selected by Rocket, you should also let us know too. That would be pretty cool if you had been selected.
Yeah, because the past couple of days we actually haven't, we personally haven't known who's been selected. But if you win, tweet at us, because we would like to know. So that'd be nice. Okay, so we're still waiting for these guys to get into their first game, as there are some slight delays here. But we anticipated this night going on a little bit longer than the previous ones. We've had a few shorter nights here at the WCS, a lot of fast and furious games. But this one could go on a little bit longer. You've got people like Hasuobs in the mix. TitaN can also play a very prolonged game as well. And Shuttle doesn't seem as if he's going down the normal, well, I wouldn't say normal, but the general Korean route of playing from the Korean server and just playing very aggressive. He's looking to play it out as well. So commendations to Shuttle, as he's trying to bring his A game.
Yeah, he's trying to bring his A game. It will be very difficult, though, with the set of players that are in this group. You know, Nerchio was mentioned back on form. TitaN's just always a very talented individual. It does bring performances that make you go, wow. And then, you know, some other days it's like, what were you trying to do? And I think that's the best way to describe TitaN as a player.
Yeah.
He plays the game his own way, I'd like to say. He doesn't really copy too many other Protoss players. He has ideas from them, but a lot of the builds he makes are generally his own, like of what he thinks Protoss should be played. And that's one thing that makes him really unique. And it makes you sometimes go, wow, that was really cool. And sometimes you're like, wow, that was really bad. Because sometimes it really works. Because the way that he practices is ladder, play a couple of custom games, and maybe in those games it works. But then when he brings it to the tournament scene in the streams, it just, you know, flops. And that's when you have the difference in you know, does it look great or does it not? But TitaN is a wild one. Nerchio, though, is a winner. You know, it's a big difference between a wild, crazy Protoss player and a winner. Because last year, I think he won DreamHack Bucharest, which is coming up in a week, not even a week, tomorrow, like, it's that soon, this time last year. And then, of course, he also won Home Story Cup 5. He was a winner, and he's won more. You know, back in the day, before Stefano really just went, I'm #1, Nerchio and Stefano were battling and rivaling so hard for that #1 spot in Europe for a very, very long time.
Yeah, they certainly were. But back onto what you were saying about TitaN's style and it being his own, there's a very, very strong Russian influence on it, I want to say. You see people like TitaN and people like Civ, who actually retired during Season 2. Those kinds of guys just mix in little things that are their own. Against Terrans, for example, going for observer speed is something that they were, you know, mixing in from time to time to keep up with medevacs. And it was... You were right. It's their styles are like hit and miss. Either it looks brilliant and it's great, or it just looks silly. So there is that mentality to it. There is that kind of little tidbit. But now, guys, the countdown is finished. We can get into our first game here on Frost. So let's jump right on in. And we've already done our intros, so we can stay away from that for this first game.
Okie doke. Okay, so. I mean, Frosted, they've actually spawned in the same locations.
Just reversed.
Just reversed.
Yeah. So these guys are going to be facing off on Frost. And, you know, for Nerchio, I'm curious to see what he's going to bring to the table. I think he probably will go for that, you know, a Ling style, trying to punish the third base. If you're a Protoss on this map and you don't wall off your third base appropriately, then you can be hit pretty hard. But there are little places that you can use here because it's kind of choked in between these two pieces of architecture, that you can make really nice walls on this map. I've seen some really, really good ones as of late.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've played this map quite a bit, but in this season on the ladder, I've played a few Protoss games. So I probably played, I don't know, like 3 games as Protoss on each of the new maps, roughly. But all the other games that I've played this season, I've been playing a ton. I've been with TitaN. So,
yeah.
I mean, this matchup, I am expecting... I mean, I know the matchup very well and how it plays out. The map, not as much, but with the map rotation and the way that the bases lay out, I can kind of expect... it to play a certain way, so we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, personally, I've been playing a lot of Zerg recently, so going up against Protoss on this map has been a little bit of a nightmare, especially with these spawning positions. Actually, I want to say, as it's rare that you would see the Protoss actually take the base down to here because it can be a little bit more difficult to wall off. But the only disadvantage of this base up here is the fact that you are technically expanding towards your opponent. So sometimes, of course, launching attacks is great there, but also Nerchio, if he wants to punish that third really, really fast, he can do, because he can launch an attack at such a close location. So that gets over there so rapidly, where normally as a Protoss, you're trying to have time to get your kind of buildings in the right spots.
Look at TitaN's builds already. Like, just sums up who he is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a Nexus first, then with a gateway as the follow-up from it. Just forgetting about the Forge. This is obviously a lot more risky than the majority of builds Protoss can choose from. But the one thing that does work in his favor here is that he has started to make a wall off with the pylon and gateway, just in case something was to happen here, which he wasn't able to deal with. But as we can see from Nerchio, there's nothing he can do to punish this.
Yeah.
He hasn't taken gas. He hasn't chosen any early aggressive plays. So this is completely fine here from TitaN. So he does have a bit of a leg up when it comes to his build, because not only does he have the advantages of going for a Nexus first and having a good economy, he also has the advantage of going for a gateway expansion, because he has the gateway so early on. And the one thing that takes away from all that is the defense from the Forge, the cannon, or for the earlier gateway to get a Zealot and Mothership core. So he's got kind of the best of both worlds with this build. It is greedy, but he's got the best of both worlds.
He really has. He's going to try and wall off this as well. The Zerglings are poking across, but it's only 4 Zerglings. Not going to be able to do too much at all here with these, as long as TitaN does control properly. Might actually tickle away at this pylon and try and force a cancel, but at least he gets in. And let's see what he gets to do with this.
Well, Nerchio's got 2 Zerglings in, hasn't he? So if he's able to pick up a couple of probes here, he just ruins TitaN's build. And he's going to get, maybe one there. It was almost one. But there's a couple of probes that aren't mining on the natural land inside the main base. So he is doing, with what he had in this setup was only 4 Zerglings.
Yeah.
He's done okay with just those 4 Zerglings, because sometimes you wouldn't even expect anything from them.
Yeah, certainly. He's been controlling these very, very well. He hasn't lost a single one thus far. So controlling at the front and controlling at the back, it's a testament to how strong mechanically Nerchio is to actually just control those.
And look at this double Forge.
Wow.
So a Nexus into Gateway, and then double Forge follow-up.
Both on the wall as well.
Both on the wall. Both have been scouted early on. Interesting build coming from TitaN here. Gonna play very timing-oriented. So he could hit with a 1-1 timing. He definitely is gonna hit with a 2-2 timing. But overall, just a very unique playstyle from TitaN. And I mean, this is just backing up everything that I said about him earlier on.
Exactly. This is what he does. He plays in his own little corner of the world, and he certainly does make some interesting builds. But because this is Nerchio, Nerchio's played a lot of games, so he's run into a lot of weird situations as well. So I'm curious to see how he's actually going to accommodate for this.
Yeah, he's getting his single evolution chamber, not double here. So I'm expecting a carapace upgrade. I don't think any attacking upgrade would make too much sense here. The robotics facility behind this as well. TitaN, it's very difficult to break down TitaN's build because you don't know which avenue he's going to go down. Because surely you would have expected a Twilight Council to follow this quite fast because he's got 1-1 and would like to go to 2-2. But he's throwing down a robotics facility here. But I still feel he'd have to throw down the Twilight soon. But I mean, TitaN, this is why people, well, I don't know if people, but this is why I'm a fan of him. I love this kind of creative, different, non-robotic playstyle.
Exactly. He can throw this onto the table, and then now Nerchio is going to have a little bit of a harder time dealing with what's going on. He's chrono boosting out the Immortal straight away.
Yeah, I don't think it's for an all-in.
Yeah.
I definitely feel this is for like an immortal-based defense towards a third. With the Twilight Council coming in, that kind of shows us that he will get to 2-2 soon, and he will take a third base momentarily as well. The Evolution Chamber has not been used here by Nerchio at all. He's got his layer down rather fast, so I'd expect a Hydralisk Den to come down, considering he's got 5 out of the 6 gases so far. And he will try to put some pressure on, I suppose. Zergling-based... If he doesn't get Roach Speeds, Hydra?
I've got to ask, though, with the double Forge and the committal to those upgrades this quickly, yes, his units are going to be very strong, but how many is he going to have to secure a third base?
Well, you don't need as much as you would do normally with 1-1 and 2-2 on the way, right? And he already has quite a few force fields. It depends on how well he hits his force fields and...
No Carapace upgrade is going to hurt that a lot.
Yeah, no Carapace upgrade, just melee. So Zergling style, and there's no... Hydra Den, there's no Spire.
Yep. The Zerglings poke forwards and see this army, and he's a little bit curious as to what's going on. 2-2's going down with this as well.
He might be thinking it's some weird 2-base all-in, because you don't know what is capable of TitaN, but he will throw down his third Nexus, or at least attempt to shortly, I suppose. But he's actually going to come from the high ground area. This is a good position to force field and do a bit of damage to the mineral line of his opponent.
Yeah, it really is.
He does know that the hatchery's there, so it makes sense.
He throws in the Hallucinated Phoenix. He's going to throw down a pylon here and get aggressive.
He definitely has plans to expand in this game, but for now he's going to try to put some pressure on.
Yeah, Zergling's trying to swing around to the back here, but a lot of them get caught. These force fields are pretty interesting. A lot of the army's not really doing too much, but there's the speed.
Oh, wow.
Whoa, and that's a big surround.
And that's game over.
He has to recall out.
That's game over. That's actually game over.
Yeah.
His force fields were looking good, and then they looked terrible.
But now it's like, good luck securing a third base, TitaN.
Yeah, you're not actually going to take a third base in this game. The Hydralisk Den is down as well. The Spire's coming in to mix things up. He lost all his sentries there, even though he had 1-1. Now, this is almost game over from this. This is absolutely a disastrous position for TitaN. He lost way too much there. The Forges are going to get picked off.
Yeah.
So goodbye 2-2 upgrades.
Oh, and it's been such a committal for a long time. This gas could have been spent elsewhere for all that time. But now they are going to go down. One falls, the second one will as well. The Roaches are just going to stick around and make sure that that happens. Oh, actually, you know, the force fields did hold on. That Fortune Overcharge kills it off.
And by the looks of it, Nerchio's just going to build Mutalisk now. He's not even going to use his Hydralisk Den. He sees his opponent's army composition, Zealot, Sentry, Immortal. Even though I say that he just built 6 Hydras, I definitely feel this is mostly going to be for Mutalisk now. He's got 1,200 gas in the bank.
Yeah, it's like, why not? I mean, against your opponent that has put themselves in this on this back foot position, it's 50 armor supply to 42, yes, but look how secure this top position is with these Spine Crawlers trying to get through that narrow choke point while Spine Crawlers are poking away at you, and then the reinforcements are going to have time bought for them to get up there as well. This is difficult for TitaN. Well,
TitaN knows he's in a pretty bad position. It looks like he may just try to attack here. He's warping in quite a few units, a Warp Prism on the way as well, and he may just go for it in hope of maybe I can win. But 16 Mutalisks are about to come to play.
Against 6 Stalkers and 3 Sentries. Of course, he may get a few more Stalkers here, but aside from that, those are going to dissolve very quickly on the ground, I would say.
Yeah, this... TitaN was looking so good and then looking so bad again here. And this is one of the instances where you're like, all right, cool, no terrible build. And it didn't work out too well for him. But I think it definitely has good potential to be a nice build from him. But the Mutalisks are going to go into the main base. They're going to tear apart everything. He's going to defend with Spines, Hydras, and Lings, and Roaches. And he's going to force a base trade. Yeah, and TitaN, he knows about that, but he's just having to march across the map. The Stalkers get engaged straight onto. And yes, eventually they will have +3 weapons, but I don't even think he'll get there, because now these Mutalisks, there's no cannons here to deal with this, and the army's just going to try and plow on forwards. And then at the same time on the other side of the map, we have TitaN about to take the fight here. He's got fantastic upgrades here, with +2 attack doing so much damage. But the amount of Mutalisks that are in the sky, and they can always come back to defend, remember? Yeah, they could. That Colossus ended up dying off as well, so that's a lot of space control that Nerchio has just denied from his opponent. The expansion will end up falling, and the Mutalisks do get forced back thanks to those Stalkers, but he lost 32 workers. Yeah, he's lost all his income, basically. He's hardly got any income, so he can't really replenish any Stalkers he was to lose. So Nerchio needs to bring all the... Oh, he actually doesn't want to lose loose Mutalisks like that. He loses 1 or 2 there. So his count's at 15. It's about to be 19. And it should be enough to pick off the anti-air, right?
Yeah, the drones come along as well, and that's going to help out even more with the Zerglings flooding in. Once all of these Stalkers die off, then it's going to be bye-bye Immortals and bye-bye Zealots. He gets the Spire, but it's a little too late.
Yeah, there is the jump out there from TitaN, who's trying to play with 26 pros, but, you know, his opponent is hurting too.
Yeah. Army supplies 52 to 40 right now. The Spine Crawlers just going to reposition themselves down to the south and protect what is considered to be probably the most valuable base here for Nerchio. A brand new, fresh one to just mine away at from.
Yeah, this game's a little bit closer than it should have been, I think, here for Nerchio. But still, he's in quite a commanding position, I'd say.
The Mutalisk and Zerglings just going to flood on forwards. If they can break down that wall and get in, then great. But the Mutalisk is going to try and draw a bit of this army away.
Well, any Stalker he picks off here is going to be very difficult to replenish. Likewise, Mutalisks are going to be hard to replenish too, though, remember.
That's certainly true.
But still, there's just not enough Stalkers.
Yeah, there's 6 out right now against the 30 Mutalisks that still reign in the skies. So they're going to die off. And he doesn't have the Mothership Core, but does it have any energy to actually do any photon overcharge?
It does.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, but...
It's still not going to be enough.
Yep, an interesting game here from TitaN, who's about to lose pretty much everything here. And behind this is just more and more Zerglings coming in. GG. Nerchio takes map number 1.
A bizarre game of day of games thus far.
A really, really wonky game there.
Yeah.
Right? Really.
But you summed it up very nicely at the beginning. That's kind of what we see from TitaN. Maybe he'll fall back onto a normal build in game 2, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think we'll see... either him be completely adamant with that build or have something tailored to the second game, which is something we're not too used to seeing.
Yeah.
All right.
Interesting. I would like to see what happens in the next map, though. I don't know if he does something weird again, if he does the same.
Well, I don't know. If he does something, if he did the same build, then I guess all he has to do is position himself just a little bit better if he's going to push out like that. Because he expended a lot of force fields. And actually, the map being Yunsu, the third base, if he wants to go down the same route, is better for that kind of build, I would say. It's kind of difficult to traverse the entirety of the map with that smaller unit force in comparison to the spawning positions on that previous map. But if he can get into position just above the third on the cliff, this could be a map where TitaN brings that style back.
All right, well, let's find out if he can do something along those lines here. Would be interesting to see a TitaN victory here. I would quite like to see it, actually. But we'll see if he can take on the likes of Nerchio, who is looking very good. He seems to have quite a decent understanding of how to play this matchup in recent times. He's getting the tech switches all down right. He's forcing his opponent one direction, then going the other. And he seems to be playing, once again, on top form. And let's see if he can continue that here. Coming from Challenger League into Premier League. And can he move on to the round of 16 where he was in Season 1? Season 2, not so much down in Challenger League. But this could be a season where we see Nerchio climb back to former glory.
Yep, it certainly could be. I mean, after seeing the past performances of him doing well in other tournaments, he could certainly at least make the round of 8 here. He has the potential for that. But now we can jump into game number 2. It's funny because, Hasu and TitaN, as well as maybe even Shuttle, if he brings back some good performances, all have the potential to move on far. But now, spawning up to the top right as our red Zerg. Currently 1 game up, he is Acer Nerchio. And down to the bottom left-hand corner as our blue Protoss, he is Rox TitaN.
Pylon down there again. I wonder if he opens up the same build. I kind of like it. It is very risky, but Nerchio is a player that would be like, I'm going to beat him.
Yep.
But we'll see if that's the case, because this is an early scout coming out from TitaN, looking for that very thing. And if he was to go Nexus and then was to see something very early on, I'm quite sure he'd start to make a wall off with a Forge instead of trying to go for his gateway play. So
yeah,
this is kind of smart from him. On this map, this 2-player map, you can just come in, just see. And he's going to be like, all right, so it looks like he may be trying to go for a regular play, which means I can go for my regular play too.
Yeah, he's having a look around and seeing what needs to be seen. But for now, Nerchio just going to probably end up throwing that spawning pool down. There we go. Block, though, there from TitaN. Cheeky little man does get that, and that forces that drone to lose a little bit of mining time, but not too much in the end.
I did have a tweet that came in saying I won yesterday's Rocket competition.
Yay!
So congratulations at Gillyweed SC2.
Oh, Gillyweed.
Yeah.
Gillyweed won. She does some cool content. She does fan art content, I believe, on YouTube.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to you. I was about to say you, sir, but then it wouldn't have been apt.
You, madam.
You, madam.
There you go. So congratulations on winning your Rocket mouse. And if you guys want to join the competition as well, just like Gillyweed did, then all you need to do is go down to Twitter and make sure to hashtag WCS, like you should be doing anyway if you're talking about WCS.
Yeah, God.
And then include a hashtag Rocket along with it, which is the WCS new sponsor here in Europe. And then just predict who you think is going to advance in second place. Not first, not who wins, but who wins the final match of the evening, which results in the second place finisher.
It certainly does. And it could be any of these guys, as we still have everyone in the running for those spots. So TitaN now, what is he up to? He threw down the Forge. He's got that photon cannon going down. He did a really good job of denying his opponent's natural, actually, with that probe. Kept the drone dancing. But that third has not been stopped as Nerchio's. He's playing his own game for a little bit. Yeah,
different setup from TitaN. Look, it's not double Forge. It's not you know, the best of both worlds with the Nexus and Gateway here. It's just a regular style of opening. I don't know what this could mean for him. There's two angles that a lot of players go down after trying to open up like this. Is for a regular Stargate play into a fast third, or we see a lot of Immortal all-ins, which TitaN is very well known for doing. He does like these type of plays. He is about to escape with a probe, though. And that will, you know, scout the third base out and also offer potential for pylons hidden around him with +1 starting. TitaN. And Chrono Boost in it, too.
Wow. Okay, so he really wants that out quickly here. The Cybernetics core. I guess, you know, if he starts his Warp Gate tech and then maybe sends a few Chrono Boosts into the Warp Gate tech as well, he can start timing those out to hit exactly together. But it's 160 seconds on both. So we'll have to spend the Chrono Boost on the Warp Gate. Yeah,
this is interesting that he's Chrono Boosting into this +1 attack because it may be ready before Warp Gate's ready. That means, does he try to go for a 1-1 attack? With the robotics facility coming in, it seems like he's going to not go for a Gateway-style attack. But what he's doing is rushing out his +1 attack, and we'll follow this up with a second upgrade, which will clearly be +1 armor.
Yeah.
And it looks like it is going to be the Immortal all-in behind this, but with 1-1 upgrades, and still decently timed.
It's as if it's a very, very similar build to last, but with just the one Forge and trying to compensate that with, you know, those extra Chrono Boosts. So this could throw Nerchio off. He could just be like, well, yeah, but at the same time, if he just spots that robo facility or anything about that, then he's going to be okay.
Well, Pro Production has stopped here, Kalaris. We may see actually a Warp Prism too. That being said, he's made so many Zealots. He's made Zealots from the gateways, and he's got 3 Zealots charging towards this hatchery, as well as the Mothership core making its way across. And there is the Warp Prism on its way. And look at this +1 attack finishing up as the 3 Zealots arrive. Beautiful style here from TitaN. And this is incredibly fast. And all of a sudden, Nerchio's like, oh, wow, what?
Yeah, those 3 Zealots are going to be able to hold their own a hell of a lot longer than they normally would have been able to without that +1. But now just positioning themselves, it doesn't even matter too much as they're not in the best of choke points, but they got a pretty good trade-off there for themselves.
Yeah, got quite a few kills there. Picked off the Queen, which means the Mothership core can do some damage. Unfortunately, the pylon behind it didn't work because now Warp Gate's ready, and probably in TitaN's plan would have been, all right, now here's time to warp in 3 more Zealots with +1 attack. And that would have been nice. But we do have the Warp Prism headed towards the main base. It's gone unscouted so far. He does not have a sentry in it at the moment, but he probably will throw it in, and it's just outside the Overlord vision range. Oh, he's come Zealots.
Oh, it's just going to be Zealots here. And
only Zealots. Okay, he's not going to try and force field the ramp.
But there's Roaches already positioning themselves here. I don't know how well this is going to work for TitaN because these Roaches are going to shut this down.
Mothership core on the third base as well. Going to pick off a couple of drones. Behind this, Immortals have begun and +1 armor as well. And TitaN's looking to try to do some damage to slow his opponent down. And by the looks of it, we'll follow this up with an Immortal attack. And it really comes down to how much damage TitaN can do. He's taken so much on the Mothership core. He's lost the Mothership core. And that is a vital part of this all-in to be able to use the double time warp.
Yeah, it really is. Those Zerglings and Roaches are going to have a much easier time of dealing with that. And not only that, but his harassment tools have just not worked out that well. He's tried to get in to the main. And now, because of all of these accommodation he's made into the build, this Immortal push is going to hit slower, far slower.
He's trying to get the surround on the Queen there, and I don't think he'll go for the Immortal push anymore because it'll hit slower and it's not working too well.
Yeah,
so what he can try to do is just keep harassing with the Warp Prism because there's only Queens at the moment, and just take a third base. With the third base being put down, it's going to be very difficult for Nerchio to go over the other side of the map to harass it, because if he does that, then the Warp Prism can drop 3 Zealots and can also warp in 6 more anytime because of the 6 gateways. So it makes more sense here for TitaN to grab an expansion, but Nerchio, sneaky Nerchio, gets the Overload creep spread on the third base, denying the third Nexus from coming down.
Yeah, and now this gives Nerchio the heads up that his opponent does want this base, so once he's dealt with this, and he's going to kill that Warp Prism if he actually stuck around, but at the same time, the Zealots did kill off the Queens in time to be able to save that Warp Prism. That's meticulous timing there by him. He could have easily lost that.
Yeah, very nice there by TitaN to be able to pick off double Queens on that third base, harass it a little bit more, and behind this, take his third base. A vital structure missing from his play is the Twilight Council if he was going to play longer, but he's about to make his movement out. He's got a ton of sentries now. He's warped in a lot of sentries. A lot of fresh ones as well there, all at 60 energy. And he's about to make his way across with more Zealots being warped in. Is Nerchio ready to defend this attack? I didn't think it was going to come, and I didn't think Nerchio was either. And all of a sudden, here it is.
Yeah, and again, this position is far easier to force field off than the previous one when he was going for this kind of assault here. So force fields will go down a little bit preemptively here to try and catch some of this out of position. Throws down a lot of force fields, but some Zerglings do start connecting with those sentries.
Great force fields.
And trying to get past this, but the Immortals, they're going to stay alive for a long time here, so he has to evacuate this base.
Yeah, this is a very good attack here from TitaN.
Oh, and even more force fields litter down there. The Roaches can still fire out a lot of this, but they're not firing at the Immortals. The Zealots are tanking the damage, and this base could just easily die right now.
Yeah, easily die, and all he needs to do is keep on warping in units. A great position with the Hallucinated Phoenix to scout if he was going to get flanked as he attacked in here, and he really got the best position possible. And as long as he continues to warp in units, with 3 Immortals still alive, they will deal damage. Simple.
At 14 kills, 15 kills, and 13 kills, those 3 Immortals paying for themselves. They're waiting. TitaN ties up the series 1-1. Nerchio got caught with his pants down.
Yeah, great build there, and he definitely had so much to offer with this style and strategy. Different approaches. It looked like it was 3 Zealots first, then it could have been 6 if the gateway or pylon had got down. The gateways could have come in. Then there was the potential for a sentry on the ramp, Warpins in the main. Could have taken the third base maybe, but as of course the initial plan, as most expected, was the Immortal attack. Well done. Good play.
All right, well, now all we have to do is wait for this third game. I'm very interested to see who is actually going to make it out of this, because it could go either way if TitaN is willing to go for something as aggressive again. Nerchio, though, he's held this off a lot. He just didn't expect it. So if he just keeps his scouting a little bit more meticulous into those later stages of that third base going down, then he could be okay.
Yeah, it's always nice to see something coming. But another problem that Nerchio had to encounter in that game was his Queens kept getting picked off. He lost 1 in the main base, another 1 on the natural, and then 2 on the third base. That's 4 Queens he lost, I think. 3 or 4 Queens in that game that he got, lost. That's a lot. A lot of injects he's not hitting. That's creep spread he's not having. These things, and the harassment from TitaN, as well as Nerchio not exactly knowing 100% what was coming, seemed to be going along favour for TitaN to pick up that game. And now we lead ourselves over to Whirlwind for the final map between these two. And
we're back onto old school maps here, as Whirlwind will with that final one. So these guys are going to know the map well. TitaN, does he go aggressive? I think he goes third base on Whirlwind.
You do?
Yeah. I think he goes third base. If he went for like just a 2-base push again, 1, I don't think it's as good on Whirlwind, and 2, it's just going to be too predictable, right?
Some may say.
Some may say.
Depends on the execution and how well it's put down there by TitaN. One thing that I would lean towards a more normal game from TitaN, and maybe some spin-off timing after a third has been taken. Because Nerchio's very good at defending most type of usual openings. Like in that game there, he defended against 3 Zealots with +1 attack and killing off the pylon very well. So any early attacks, Nerchio's usually on top of it. He knows where the pylons and probes are most likely going to be. This is Whirlwind. He's going to figure that out as well, depending on the locations of where they both spawn. So I would favor TitaN to play a little bit of a longer game than we saw in game number 1 and game number 2.
All right, well, we're loading up onto Whirlwind here for this final map in this best of 3. The winner will advance on to play against Hasuobs for that first round of 16 spot, and the loser will fall down to that lower position to face against Shuttle to see who goes down to Challenger League. So, again, nobody wants to go down to Challenger League. A lot of these guys have been in there, Nerchio. In fact, all of them, I think, have been in Challenger League at one point or another.
That's right.
So, tough stuff.
Yeah, every single one of these players in Challenger League at least once. And but they are all in Premier League now, and 2 players today have the chance to go to the round of 16, where they would fight to remain in Premier League if they were to make it way through the round of 16. And of course, would get the chance to come to Cologne, Germany, to play live, face-to-face with your opponents, depending on which one that will be, which opponent you will face, which will depend on the group selection, which will happen next week.
Yep.
Group selection. I always do like the group selection, seeing who's playing who.
Yeah,
and this one's going to be a good one because there's a lot of good names, but there's also a lot of unknown players that are looking to make a major name for themselves. And we could have a classic upset in the round of 16 by some names like Starbucks been playing well, Rentaga's playing well, Showtime would be having German support behind him as well here.
Yeah.
So anything possible here in the World Championship Series as we continue not too far away from finishing the round of 32 now. Not far at all.
And currently we set a really nice race balance, actually moving into the round of 16, as you said before. 4 Protoss, 3 Terrans, and 3 Zergs. And the next ensuing groups can give us still even more of that balance if they play their cards right. Or we could just see more Protoss.
We could see more Protoss, as they have taken the lead. It's 4 Protoss, 3 Terran, and 3 Zerg that have made their way into the round of 16 so far.
And there's a lot of strong ones coming up as well. You got people like Stardust, people like MC coming up as well. So
that's right.
Strong stuff. All right, let's jump into the next game, as these guys are 1-1 apiece. Spawning up to the top right-hand corner are Red Zerg, representing Poland and Acer. He is Nerchio. And down to the bottom left-hand corner are Blue Protoss, representing Russia and Rox. He is TitaN. TitaN.
Let's see if he can live up to his name. So he puts a pylon inside his main base here. This could be for the Nexus first again.
Yeah.
And then the gateway, that's what he attempted earlier on. It could be for the double forge play again. He may try to go back to what he wanted to do in game number 1 here, with double forge into very fast upgrades for a bit of a poke, but mostly for that 3rd Nexus. Would be nice.
It certainly would be. It certainly would. I got a lot of tweets telling me to watch Breaking Bad, so I will watch Breaking Bad. I did get curious at one particular scene in the series, and actually had to look it up because everyone was telling me to look it up. It was a death scene. I wonder if people can remember which one I'm talking about.
Is it something to do with the bathtub?
It was a bomb. It was a bomb.
Oh, there's a lot of bombs in Breaking Bad.
Is there a lot of bombs in Breaking Bad?
There's a lot of bombs.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of bombs in Breaking Bad. But some guys basically, like, he walked out and you couldn't see one side of his face, and then you could see the other side of his face, and then yeah, I'll leave it at that. But that was cool, man. That was cool.
It is worth watching. I wouldn't go. I mean, Breaking Bad. You haven't. I mean, not Breaking Bad. So you've never watched Prison Break either.
No, I did. I did watch Prison Break.
Okay, you did watch Prison Break.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was all right. Breaking Bad, I'd recommend. Suits, I'd recommend.
People keep saying Suits as well.
What else would I recommend that I've watched recently? Just focus on those. There's a lot to watch already.
Focus on those ones. Okay. Yeah. I'll stay away from anime for a little bit, and although there are some Attack on Titan episodes that are coming out soon, well, just one, so I have to watch that as well. Anyway,
Nerchio's here planning an Attack on Titan today. It's a new episode come out, episode number 18.
Nerchio
coming out today. Kalaris, is that the episode that you've been waiting to watch?
I guess I'll just for the sake of it. No, but Nerchio, yeah, he's a member of the Survey Corps here, Survey Ops, so he's gonna launch that Attack on Titan and try and bring him down. But TitaN, he's a friendly fellow. He's a friendly Titan. Apart from when you play
enemy
games. Are there
friendly Titans in your anime Attack on Titan? There's got to be one with a soft heart.
You know, there kind of is, but that's a spoiler in itself, so we've just ruined.
There is one with a soft. I haven't even watched the series, and I know what's going on.
Uh-oh.
I already already know that. I'm not even going to watch it. I spoiled it for myself.
Yeah, it's ruined. That's the whole thing. That's it.
Oh God! So let me just guess. There was this one guy that was killing and eating everyone, and then all of a sudden we all knew that he had a heart of gold.
Wait, no. Just like, oh, I'm just gonna eat you all, but then I actually love you. No.
It was a happy ending. The Attack on Titan finished after season 1.
It's still going on, and there's the anime, like the manga even, and I'm really tempted to read it. The manga.
Oh, okay.
The what?
I thought you said Mandarin.
Mandarin? No.
I was like, what?
No, but it's still being drawn and written and stuff, so I've been tempted to read it, but I'd rather not. I'd rather just watch the episodes.
Okay.
It's good.
So, looking at TitaN's build here, he's just gone for this gateway expand with 3 gateways in a wall here, with the probe just going off towards the north, as he does know where Nerchio is spawned.
I wonder if that Overlord actually spotted that probe actually moving out.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Yeah, so
definitely did.
Zergling,
he's going to build a spine crawl on his third base. He already knows, and building a couple of Zerglings already. He knows that the likelihood of a bit of pressure coming towards third is extremely likely here.
Look at this little Zergling; it spots it instantly.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if we can get the pylon before it finishes. The Zerglings will pop out from the third.
This is a tough spot for TitaN.
Or at least he'll get the probe. Oh, look at this!
Another pylon! Wow, mega aggressive. But this one's not going to get up. No way. There are Zealots coming along to reinforce it, but bye-bye pylon. He didn't cancel that,
16 Zerglings are on the way, by the way.
Yeah.
That's quite a lot to deal with this, and the other pylon's about to be... Oh, no, he's going to be saved.
Yeah, the Zealots do warp in and will push this back for now. So he still can start warping in, but again, a lot of Zerglings in production. I think that with the production that Nerchio has now, TitaN has to abandon this.
Yeah,
and
it's just time to build probes, man.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is he's lost the mothership core. It's 100% time to build probes.
Yeah, definitely.
And take some guesses, bro.
And he's not doing it just yet. He's warping in more Zealots. This is not going to work here. Nerchio.
Yeah, there's a Spine Crawler and a Queen with a Transfuse and more Zerglings on the way. Even though when Zealots get to a critical amount, they're really, really good.
Very good.
It's just the point that there's another pylon cancelled. There's another probe out to try and get this down, but there's more and more Zerglings coming. Nerchio has got the Roach one coming down because he knows that his opponent is dedicating to this for some reason. But there is a backup plan now activated. The Stargate's on the way, and he should be taking gases. No, he doesn't need to take gases. Sorry, he's got 500 gas in the bank. But the Stargate's on the way. But he shouldn't lose to these Zealots, even though there's a lot of them. Yeah,
that's the one thing that TitaN has going in his favor. The fact that there were so many so clumped up, they are going to get an effective trade-off. Whilst that Spine Crawler's trying to burrow, actually, you know, he pushes on through because he kind of reached that critical mass. But now with the Spine down and reinforcing Zerglings with those Queens, with the Roaches in production as well, this should get pushed away. Nice Transfuse.
Yeah, double Transfuse available on that single Queen. And with 24 Lings and 5 more Roaches, he's not going to lose this. He transfuses the Spine Crawler. TitaN spends more and more money on trying to break this third base, but Nerchio's micro has been pretty good in this game until that 1 second where he loses 1 Queen. But with Roaches out now, this is actually done and dusted. This is over.
Yeah, it certainly is.
But doesn't want to lose the Queen. Ah!
Run away!
1 hit away from dying there.
Just going to micro it, just a little heart out, and that Zealot cannot catch up. Tries to swipe away at drone, but that gets denied as well.
Oh, the Mothership core. Oh, you biatch.
Where is it?
Just killed the Queen.
Oh! Oh, well, okay. It's, yeah. Killed off. And, well, these Zerglings going to kill off this pylon as well. So, a cheeky little move there by TitaN. He has to get out, though, so he doesn't lose his Mothership core. Yeah,
he really didn't do that much, though. He's equalized up the economy because, obviously, there was a lot of units being built there while he was probing behind. But with losing all these pylons, a little bit supply blocked. Nerchio knows that there's no pylons on the map anymore, so he knows he doesn't need to worry about anything counterattacking him. But what we're going to see from TitaN, most likely, even though his sentry count's very, very high, is a third base being taken. But I'm a little bit worried that he may try to attack from this position. But if he tries to attack from this position, with +1 melee on the way, these Zerglings are going to have a heyday against the sentry count.
Yeah.
They're going to go crazy. And here comes extra gateways coming in. TitaN looks like he's going to build a couple of Void Rays, then go for a follow-up attack. But I really don't... Well, one thing that hasn't been researched is Zergling speed. And that's actually kind of bad, considering he's got +1 melee attack on the way.
Yeah, certainly so. This could come back to bite him here. The Hydralisk then starts.
It gives TitaN a bit of an upper hand in this.
Yeah, and you know, for Nerchio, you know, this is very visible. He sees that his Zerglings are moving. They're slow, so I guess he just wants to go straight up to Hydralisk and get a lot of those out. But it makes the Zerglings a lot less potent.
It's just simply a mistake. It's just that simple. It's not something that he's skipping up to get more of something else. It's just he hasn't got it. And that's going to make this really nice. It's like Time Warp's always active, basically, with Zerglings this slow.
Yeah. Well, that being said, he's banking up that gas here, and the Roaches are moving out up to the north, just to try and get away from the damage that these Void Rays are putting out. That's a lot of sentries. And if he had Zergling speed, as you see, he could have wrapped around this in the middle of the map, and it would have been very hard for TitaN to kind of hold off. But now, this army has got into a pretty nice spot for TitaN.
Yep, he's going to swing around the right-hand side here. Hydralisks are on the way, but supply counts are kind of close. With TitaN in a bit of a lead in the army supply, he has a bit of a stronger army. Drones are being pulled off, but here comes Zerglings from behind. 2 walls of force field, super important, and does land a 1 down with a few holes in it. All he has to do is seal off everything at the back here as well, but Nerchio is in a little bit of trouble. The Hydralisks aren't really coming out at the right time here. He's got a few down. He's trying to focus down these Void Rays. The Mothership Core does die off as well, but the force fields are doing really well here for TitaN. 12 Hydras on the way. Can they be enough?
I don't know.
These Queens running away. They actually need to just transfuse and fight. I'm sorry, girls, you're going to die, but you have to fight. Yeah,
you certainly do. Force fields on the ramp, force fields, and both ramps, in fact, here is just going to keep Nerchio out of this spot for a long time. The drones, once again, trying to evacuate out. Oh, they're actually going for the fight here, trying to tank for these Hydras. They need to bring down that Void Ray if they can, then maybe they can deal with the ground force.
Looks like this is rather close, but TitaN should be able to do this, I think.
Yeah.
We're getting the Zealots at the front here. The Void Ray's still alive.
Oh, that Void Ray needs to die. It needs to die here for Nerchio to try and hold this off, but at the same time, that guy... Oh dear me. Getting up that ramp now. That's bad. That's bad for the Zerg. Pulls all the drones off the line again here. This Void Ray's still not dead. The Hydralisks, there's only 4 of them left at this location. And there we go. That Void Ray does end up dying. He could just throw a force field on the ramp, though.
5 Roaches, 6 Roaches, 2 Queens are on the way, too. More and more units are being warped in here by TitaN, as 4 Stalkers do appear down to the south, but unfortunately Nerchio's used a lot of his drones, a lot of his economy to help defend.
Yeah.
TitaN's gone untouched. He can force field the ramp, he can split up these units, which he should do.
Oh, sentry with the energy dies, and now that, whoa, 1 sentry has 12 kills? Holy moly. King Sentry, and that dies off in the end, so poor King Sentry has the burial.
Yeah, but look at how many units, reinforcements that TitaN has. He's just got all his probes mining while Nerchio's lost all his drones.
Oh my god, I can't believe it. TitaN has turned this series around so well with his aggression, and Nerchio has not reacted properly to it.
Well, +1 melee attack was definitely to try to kill a 3rd base. And
congrats.
Because it's an aggressive upgrade to deal with TitaN trying to take a 3rd base, which is usually what happens a lot with Protoss players who fail or don't get the damage they wanted in the early stages. And then without Zergling speed, which made the Zerglings not as useful, and then with +1 melee attack being on the Zerglings and Carapace not being on everything, there's just a little thing, small little adjustments, which probably would have helped out Nerchio a little bit more so than what we saw in that game. But TitaN's the one that edges through, and TitaN's the one that makes it to the winners match.
Certainly so. So that guarantees us a Protoss in the round of 16.
5-3-3 now.
Yeah, 5-3-3. Might even be a second one if HasuObs is able to battle it on through, or TitaN battles it on through that lower bracket. So that means we have our set games for the next 2 series.
Yep, that's right. So we'll be going into those very shortly. I'm quite looking forward to them. Which one are you looking forward to the most, though?
The PvP, I think. HasuObs and TitaN. HasuObs has really good PvP, as we've seen a lot of times in the German scene. He won his previous EPS title off the back of Protoss versus Protoss as well. And then TitaN, he brings some cool things to PvP.
I have to agree. I'm excited for the PvP winners match, and then we'll see how Shuttle versus Nerchio plans out, because I think Nerchio should be looking to sweep that game. But Shuttle put up a fight against HasuObs. Can he do it against Nerchio later on? But of course, our first game that we'll be going into is that PvP.
All right, guys. So join us after the break when we shall see who advances onto the round of 16. Will it be HasuObs or will it be TitaN?